I'm Nick Smallman, and I want to show you how challenges in our everyday communication can affect our social well-being. I'm going to use examples from current events in the United States, and I've asked some of America's leading experts to help me. These films aren't about politics. What I want to discover is what these challenges are and what we could potentially do about them.
We will stop the steal. We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
He should be arrested today.
That area of the Capitol as police officers try to keep them back.
Understanding the difference between fact and fiction is so important if you're trying to make a crucial decision. But nowadays we live in a kind of a weird sort of infotainment reality TV universe where fact and fiction is blurred for our entertainment. So why do we watch it?
It's a way to enjoy sensations as a human being, because to express anger can feel good. So we enjoy the sensations, we enjoy the drama and the hysteria. And we have this giant arena all around us on our smartphones every day to engage with that without any material positive consequence.
Reality television was not foisted upon an innocent audience. It grew out of what people liked in the first place.
You see it happening to them. There's a praying mass, and it's ugly, but emotionally it feels good because you can get this stuff out of your system.
For some people, it's not real unless it's on a screen.
When we're glued to a screen watching reality TV, it's entertaining and fun. Truth matters less. It distracts us from the difficult real-world issues by giving us an alternative world to retreat to. The problem is that we risk losing touch with the truth.
I think the scary part of it is that reality TV started to look like reality, so that reality on TV started to look like entertainment.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Coming out of the White House, President Trump
has just fired the director of the FBI.
I think in America, reality TV and other sources as well, I think the American intellect has been dumbed down quite a bit to basic emotional impulses and sensationalism and an inability to critically think and to discern what's real from what's fake.
You know, there's always been an anti-intellectual component in America, but I've never seen anything like this.
I think reality TV is just another, variable that's just like made America stupid.
It's just not a productive way of engaging really serious topics.
Girl, please stop talking. Please stop talking right now.
In the culture we live in, reality is regarded as entertainment, and entertainment is sold as a brand. TV, big tech, and politicians fight for our attention, selling us their brand of reality. Whoever catches our attention gets to influence the decisions we make.
One part of culture that's obvious is that it's a market-based culture that is based on seeing people as consumers.
There is a power in branding. Crooked Hillary, she wasn't crooked, but it stuck. One of the things that it has been frustrating is that Republicans are so much better at that branding.
Most people under 50 are getting their news from social media.
It's nonstop stimulation and sensation. You just become attached to the sensation.
So to the extent that a culture is awash in that kind of ADD, short attention span communication and reading, the more someone like Trump is popular and successful because he's a showman.
Well, I think there's been this dissociation between watching the news and actual consequence, right?
In the blurring of reality, a leader can ignore real-world consequences and instead focus on ideals that are more appealing to themselves and their audience. Once they've been hooked, the audience keep giving their attention. And for any leader, attention is vital.
So when Trump comes along and he says, hey, buy this, here's an image to digest or connect with. He can be a brilliant showman. For instance, I'll remind people who had the fortune or misfortune to listen to his last State of the Union address. So behind him is Pence and Pelosi. And I thought he was a brilliant impresario. He staged the entire thing as theater. And it's extremely entertaining. For those of us who grew up watching game shows and reality TV, that's what he's doing. And it was very, very entertaining.
It's called the Space Force. Very important.
If President Trump is developing a brand of entertainment, a fake reality intended to replace the real thing, what impact does this have on the rest of us? What impact does this have on voters? And how did this process begin?
Donald Trump was on whatever,
The Apprentice.
The Apprentice and like World Wrestling, and it's been in the media forever.
He's always been on the map. Once he's in the media, he has to shine. Like no matter where he is at and what level, he's always got to be up front and on top.
Reality TV has made it difficult, I think, for people to distinguish sometimes between fact and fiction.
Right.
Because reality TV is in reality extremely staged.
Do you think Trump would have even been a thing without The Apprentice, for example? Do you think he needed that cultural footprint in order to create the brand that would give him the success?
The Apprentice was very, very important to Trump's getting a mass following beyond just that of the business tycoon, and also the kind of decisive leader where, the thrill consisted in that he would fire people. You're fired.
And I feel like the vote was for entertainment. Do you know what I mean?
The people that elected him, they watched him on TV, pretending to be an able and decisive business person. And they just saw this as a continuation of a TV show.
He knows very well how to manipulate this boundary between truth and fiction. And that is key to the kind of mediatized politics and politics as spectacle that we have today.
From the moment I left my former life behind, and it was a good life, I have done nothing but fight for you.
The blurring of reality and entertainment at a national level has led to a reality TV approach to politics. But fictional, entertaining versions of the truth only deepen long-term problems. America is polarized. Rival groups have little in common other than suspicion and misunderstanding. In the past, everyone was part of a single culture, sharing similar ideals. Not anymore.
I mean, you have a period where everybody's watching Walter Cronkite, three channels, and everybody's watching the same news, everybody's watching the same programs. Whereas, if one type of person is watching one particular type of show and another, group of people are watching a completely different program, those cultural messages are not as universally sort of expressed, right? So like how polarized cultural features had become, right? Where, Duck Dynasty and things like that are highly associated with one worldview and one sort of side of the culture war.
So it's the same thing like we were talking about the environment. Like if you can watch someone and just sort of enjoy him making a fool out of himself and not be directly affected by the consequences of that.
All of this with the global warming and that, and a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay?
Or you can watch somebody who's got a Nobel Prize and they're really boring and they're resolving issues halfway across the world. What's more fun? The first one is more fun, but the consequence is really disastrous.
Entertainment is fun. That's why it's distracting. Reality is something else. It used to be something we engaged with. Turning reality into something distracting and inconsequential misses the bigger picture. It misses the problems we face and the solutions we might discover. Above all, skipping reality robs us of choices. How can we decide between two options, like two parties in an election, if we can't truthfully see what's open to us? Reality TV is an oxymoron. Trump is a product of The Apprentice, and the people he fired were playing a part just as much as he was.
The real thing, the ability to engage with the truth, is far more important.
So like it or not, reality has to be accepted because it's the one thing that will help us to progress.